The knock was soft, almost hesitant, but it startled Alex awake. He sat up in his bed, the dim glow of the city lights spilling through the blinds. "Who's there?" he whispered, his voice hoarse from sleep. No answer came. Instead, the door creaked open slowly, and a tall figure stepped into the room. Alex froze. Her skin shimmered faintly in the half-darkness, like liquid silver under the pale moonlight. She had eyes that glowed with a soft violet hue, delicate but impossibly alien. Her hair floated slightly as if weightless, moving with a life of its own. She looked lost. "Can you please clean me, human?" Her voice was gentle, almost pleading, but carried a strange resonance, like a bell echoing underwater. Alex blinked, unsure if he'd woken into a dream or a nightmare. Clean you," he stammered. I think you're in the wrong room." "No," she said, stepping closer, her gaze fixed on him with such intensity that it made his chest tighten. "I am in the right place. You can help me." Her words sent a chill down his spine. She wasn't dangerous, at least not in the way one might expect. But there was an undeniable urgency, a silent fear woven into every gesture. She seemed fragile, yet at the same time, she radiated an alien strength, like a creature that had survived storms beyond imagination. Alex's mind raced. He had always been fascinated by stories of extraterrestrial life, but nothing in his textbooks, movies, or fantasies had prepared him for this. And yet here she was, in his room, at midnight, asking for help. "W8 clean you how?" he asked cautiously, inching toward the door. Her eyes softened. "I cannot clean myself. My body, it changes. I need you." Alex swallowed. Something in her tone made it impossible to refuse. He felt a strange mix of fear and compassion. Whatever she was, she trusted him, and that trust was heavier than any weapon. Okay. Sit down," he said finally, gesturing toward the chair near his desk. The alien woman stepped forward, her movements fluid, almost floating, and lowered herself onto the chair with a grace that gravity. Alex's hands shook slightly as he picked up a damp towel from his bathroom. I don't even know how to do this," he admitted. "You will know," she said softly. "Just help me, please." As he approached, he noticed her skin was not like human skin. It was smooth, almost metallic, and faintly warm to the touch. Her body seemed to pulse subtly, like a living energy source. Small streaks of a strange, iridescent substance marked her arms and neck, as if she had been exposed to something corrosive or toxic. He hesitated, unsure how to proceed without causing pain. "You are afraid," she observed quietly. "It is human, but do not worry, I trust you." Those words hit him harder than any weapon could. Trust, from a being so alien, so unknowable, was a weight he wasn't ready to carry, yet he had no choice. Taking a deep breath, he wet the towel and pressed it gently against her forearm. Her skin was cooler than he expected, but beneath it, he felt a faint, rhythmic pulse. As he cleaned away the strange stains, she closed her eyes and exhaled slowly. "It is better," she murmured. Her voice trembled slightly, and Alex realized she was exhausted or maybe wounded in ways he couldn't see. Why are you here?" he asked softly, still wiping at the glowing substance on her arms. Her eyes opened, glowing in the dim light, and met his. "Because you are human," she said simply. "And only humans can understand this. Only humans can help me survive." Alex froze, the weight of her words sinking in. This wasn't just a random encounter. Something about her needed him, and not in a superficial way. This was life and death. Somehow, inexplicably, humans had a role in the survival of her kind. And for reasons he couldn't yet understand, he was chosen. As the night stretched on, Alex continued cleaning her, his nervousness giving way to determination. Every careful stroke of the towel, every gentle touch, brought a faint glow back into her skin. She seemed to relax slightly, her alien form softening. And yet outside the window, the city lights flickered as if sensing the arrival of something extraordinary, something dangerous. Somewhere in the shadows beyond the glass, Alex knew, forces far greater than himself were watching. And he had no idea what would happen next. Alex's hands trembled as he continued wiping the iridescent stains from her arms. Her skin now shimmered faintly, almost as if the light of the room had imprinted itself on her. She sat silently, her glowing eyes fixed on him, Yet there was an exhaustion in her posture that made Alex's heart ache. I don't understand, he said finally, breaking the heavy silence. Why are you here? What are you? The alien woman let out a quiet, almost human sigh. I am called, she said softly. Her voice held a musical cadence as though her words carried layers of meaning that Alex could not perceive. I come from far away, a place where my kind is hunted. I have escaped. Hunted? Alex asked, furrowing his brow. The idea that someone or something was chasing her, risking her life to reach his small room, made his chest tighten. By who? The Dominion, she whispered. Her violet eyes flickered with a strange pain. They believe we are dangerous, that our abilities are too strong, but they do not understand. They cannot understand humans. Alex paused, letting her words sink in. Humans, he hadn't realized yet how much she trusted him, how much she believed in humanity and him personally. Somehow, against all odds, she had crossed the vast emptiness of space, or perhaps even realities, to seek refuge with him. Why me? He asked quietly. I'm just me. Her gaze softened, and for a moment she seemed almost fragile. You are human, and humans see differently. You have courage in your hearts. You are compassionate. That is why I am here. That is why I asked for your help. Alex swallowed hard. The weight of her trust pressed on him like a tangible force. He had always thought humans were small, insignificant in the universe, but in her eyes, humanity held a power that mattered, a quiet, unyielding strength. He took a deep breath. Okay, I'll help you, he said, determination replacing fear. But first, we need to figure out what's happening to you. Nodded faintly, her body trembling slightly as he guided her to sit on the edge of the bed. It is the transformation, she admitted. My body changes. It is dangerous. If it is not cleaned, it will weaken me, slowly destroy me. I cannot survive alone. Alex's mind raced. He had never imagined something like this. Humans were fragile, yes, but they had creativity, resourcefulness, and determination, and somehow he knew he had to rise to the challenge. Show me, he said softly. Show me what to do. Extended her hands toward him. A faint, silvery mist rose from her palms. It smelled faintly of ozone and metal. Alex realized that the stains he had cleaned earlier were not ordinary dirt. They were remnants of an alien energy, corrosive and alien, which she could not remove by herself. Touch carefully, she instructed, her glowing eyes locked on his. Do not hesitate. Hesitation can hurt me. Alex nodded, gripping the towel. He dipped it in warm water, then pressed it against her forearm again. The mist hissed faintly, curling into the towel as if resisting removal. Alex could feel an almost electric charge, like static electricity, running through his fingers. It was painful, but he did not pull away. You are brave, whispered, a faint smile on her lips. Humans are brave, that is why I trust you. As he continued, a sudden crash sounded from outside his window. Alex froze, heart hammering. Shadows flickered across the walls, long and unnatural. He instinctively moved in front of her, ready to protect. They are here, murmured, a note of fear threading her voice. The Dominion, they sense me. They are close. Alex's pulse raced. The danger that had always felt distant was suddenly real, tangible. He had no weapons, no experience with interstellar hunters, but he had something more, his humanity. The courage to act, the compassion to protect, and the ingenuity to survive. We'll figure this out, he said, more to himself than her. We'll stop them. His eyes glimmered with something like hope. I believe in you, that is why I came here. The room fell silent again, but the tension had thickened. Outside, the city seemed too still, as if it too were holding its breath. Alex knew the Dominion would not wait. Whatever they were coming for her, and if they succeeded, it would be the end of and perhaps the beginning of something far worse. Alex clenched his fists. He wasn't just a human in his small room anymore. He was her protector, her only ally. And for the first time in his life, he understood the truth of what humans could be, small, fragile, and yet unbreakable when it mattered most. And in that moment, he swore he would not let her fall. Alex's heart thudded in his chest like a drum as he continued to clean. The faint metallic mist on her arms hissed and dissipated slowly under his careful touch. Every movement was deliberate, every stroke filled with concentration. But outside, the world had changed. A low hum filled the air, vibrating through the walls, the floor, even the air around them. Alex froze. "What is that?" he whispered. "They are close," said, her voice steady but tense. "The Dominion, they can sense me. Your building, your city, it is detectable. They will come for me." Before he could respond, the lights flickered and went out. The room plunged into darkness, leaving only the faint glow of skin. Alex gripped the towel like a lifeline, shielding her instinctively. Then a window shattered. The sound cracked the silence, sharp and sudden. Shards of glass scattered across the floor, and a cold wind swept into the room. Outside, Alex could see a shape, dark, angular, moving faster than anything human eyes should track. "They are here," exclaimed. "Quickly hide." Alex grabbed a nearby blanket and wrapped it around her, instinctively shielding her from the sharp glass and whatever else might be coming. The alien mist rising from her skin reacted to the disturbance, glowing brighter and coiling like liquid fire. Alex realized she wasn't just vulnerable, she was dangerous if mishandled. "Don't worry," he said, more to steady himself than her. "I've got you." The shadows outside the window began to take shape, tall, armored figures, impossibly fast, moving with precision. The Dominion. Alex's blood ran cold. He had no weapons, no training, only his wits and the courage he had always underestimated in himself. "They will not take me," said almost to herself. Her hand brushed against his arm. "But you must be careful." Alex scanned the room. He needed a plan. The Dominion would not be fooled by brute force. He had only a few options. He could try to barricade the door, or lure them away. But he also realized something. His glowing body could be used as a shield, as a distraction. He took a deep breath. "We need to move now." Rose slowly, her alien body emanating a faint light that illuminated the room. "Are you sure?" she asked. "I'm human," Alex said simply. "We improvise, we survive, that's what we do." She studied him for a moment, then nodded. "Very well, trust you." Together they moved toward his small balcony. The Dominion forces had begun entering the building, their dark shapes gliding across the floors below. Alex's heart pounded in his ears. He had never imagined this, real extraterrestrial hunters, moving toward him and cutting through the city like predators. Alex held the blanket around her. "On my mark, jump," he whispered. "We have to make it to the fire escape. It's our only chance." She nodded. Her trust in him was complete, and that realization struck Alex with a mixture of fear and pride. She was relying on a human, not some galactic warrior, not an alien hero, a human. He counted down silently, 3, 2, 1. They leapt. The balcony shuddered as their weight hit the metal railing. Below, the street was a blur of shadows and movement. Alex guided down the fire escape, her glowing skin illuminating the steps. The Dominion forces hesitated for just a second, enough time for them to descend. As they reached the street, Alex spotted an abandoned delivery truck. "Quick, inside!" he shouted. They dove into the back just as dark figures reached the building. The truck's metal walls echoed with every step outside. Alex could hear the Dominion moving methodically, scanning the area, their alien voices low and mechanical. He pressed against him instinctively. "You did well," she said softly. Her eyes glimmered with gratitude. "Humans, you are clever, you protect." Alex felt a surge of determination. She was right. Humans were underestimated, yes. Small and fragile, yes. But courage, ingenuity, and heart, those were the true weapons, and tonight he would wield them to keep her alive. The truck rumbled away, the city lights flickering as they disappeared into the maze of streets. Outside, the Dominion searched, unaware that their prey had escaped. Alex exhaled slowly. "We're not safe yet," he said, "but we're alive and we're going to fight back." Glow softened almost imperceptibly. "I believe in you, and that is more than many of my kind can claim." Alex realized for the first time that this was bigger than him, bigger than the city, even bigger than humanity as a whole. Humans had a place in this universe, not because they were the strongest, but because they had the courage to rise when others would falter. And tonight, he was beginning to understand what that truly meant. The rumble of the truck's engine faded into the labyrinth of quiet city streets. Alex's chest heaved, his hands trembling, but his mind was already racing. They were alive, yes, but for how long? The Dominion wouldn't give up, not while remained free. Where do we go now? Alex asked, trying to keep his voice steady. His glowing eyes flickered as she leaned against the metal wall of the truck. We need a safe place, somewhere humans can hide effectively. They do not understand your cities, your buildings, your tunnels, your chaos. That is our advantage. Alex's heart lifted slightly. She trusted him to think, to lead. And for the first time, he felt a spark of confidence, not arrogance, but clarity. Humans might be small, fragile, even laughably weak compared to beings like the Dominion, but they had imagination, ingenuity, the ability to improvise. I know a place, he said, his voice firmer than he expected. Abandoned subway tunnels, it's messy, but it's perfect. They won't expect it, and we can plan from there. His lips curved in what resembled a human smile. Clever, you are resourceful. They slipped into the dark entrance of the disused subway station, the truck's tires crunching gravel outside. Alex led the way, his hand brushing lightly against glowing arm to guide her. She moved silently, her alien form almost weightless, but still grounded by his presence. As they descended into the tunnels, Alex's mind raced with possibilities. The Dominion hunted with speed and precision, but they relied on predictable patterns. Humans did not. Humans improvised. Humans turned the environment itself into a weapon. That was their strength. I need to understand you better, Alex said after a pause, gesturing to the faintly glowing streaks still present on skin. What exactly happens if you're not cleaned? Hesitated, her eyes reflecting the dim light of the tunnel. The energy within me, it corrodes my body, slowly, painfully, and if left unchecked, I could fail completely. Alex shivered. He had already seen the effects, the faint metallic mist, the weakening glow. It was alien, yes, but it had a human parallel, vulnerability, the courage to survive despite being weak. And he felt an unexpected surge of pride. Humans had faced their own weakness countless times in history, and they had overcome it. We'll figure it out, he said quietly. We'll keep you alive, and we'll make them regret ever coming after you. His violet eyes softened. I believe you, that is rare. In my experience, few can endure the weight of trust. Alex felt a warmth spread through his chest. She had placed her life in his hands, not because of strength, not because of weapons, but because of his humanity, his courage, his willingness to act when it mattered. They moved deeper into the tunnels, the faint hum of distant trains now a memory replaced by silence. Alex studied the walls, the exits, the alcoves. We can set traps, he said thoughtfully. Tripwires, shadows, obstacles, anything that slows them down. We don't need to fight them directly. They're too fast, too precise. But humans, we can outthink them. His glow flickered with excitement. Yes, clever humans' strategy. You are remarkable. The two worked together, crafting barricades and improvising signals. Alex's mind raced, building off instincts he didn't know he had. Each idea they implemented, each small obstacle they created seemed to thrill. She moved with him, adjusting her glowing presence to confuse sensors and shadows, her alien abilities complementing his human tactics. As the night stretched on, a bond deepened between them. It was no longer just survival. It was trust, respect, and something quieter, more profound. Alex realized that humans had always been underestimated in the cosmos. Small, fragile, seemingly insignificant, but clever, adaptive, brave. And when those qualities were combined with courage, they could protect life itself, even alien life. A distant rumble echoed through the tunnels. The Dominion were coming. They would find the city empty, the streets clear, and yet their prey remained alive. Alex gripped his hand. No matter what happens, he said, we'll face it together. They'll never take you, not while I'm here. Her violet eyes glimmered with something like hope. I trust you, human. That is enough for me. Outside, the city slept, unaware of the tiny human who had become a shield, a strategist, and perhaps the universe's last line of defense for one alien life. Inside the tunnels, plans were being made, traps set, and courage forged in the quiet determination of a human heart. And somewhere deep in the shadows, the Dominion were closing in. unaware that their prey had already become part of a force they could never anticipate. The distant rumble grew louder. Alex crouched behind a barricade of broken concrete and discarded crates. Every step outside the tunnels echoed, every metallic scrape made Alex's heart hammer faster. The Dominion had arrived. "They will come," whispered, her glow pulsating faintly. "They are relentless." Alex nodded, gripping a metal rod he had found earlier. It was far from a weapon, but it would have to do. He scanned the tunnel with a careful eye, noting shadows, alcoves, and potential choke points. Humans were fragile, yes, but their greatest strength was thinking differently, using what the enemy could not predict. "They don't understand the city," he muttered to himself. "We can use that." Tilted her head, curiosity flickering across her glowing features. "Explain human ingenuity," she asked. Alex smiled faintly. "It's about seeing things differently, using everything around you, turning weakness into strength." He moved to a junction in the tunnel, pulling chains, trash bins, and loose pipes into place. "When they come, they'll be fast, but they won't be prepared for this." The first shadow appeared, a tall, angular figure moving smoothly along the tunnel floor. Its dark armor reflected the dim light of glow. It paused as it sensed something amiss. Alex held his breath, the tension snapping tight in his chest. "Now," he whispered. He triggered a makeshift tripwire, and a cascade of pipes clanged to the floor with a deafening crash. The figure staggered, alerting the others. Alex ducked behind another barricade as more Dominion forces poured in, their movement precise, calculating, but slowed by the obstacles. "You are clever," whispered, her violet eyes wide. "Humans unexpected." Alex felt a surge of pride. He had always underestimated himself, but now every human lesson, every improvisation, every instinct was saving them. Trust had forced him to rise above fear. The Dominion adapted quickly. A figure leapt over the obstacles with unnatural agility, closing the distance between them. Alex raised the metal rod, his hands trembling, ready to strike. Moved beside him. "Do not fight them directly yet," she said softly. "We must survive first." He hesitated, fight or flight. It was instinctive, but she was right. Humans survived by strategy, not sheer power. Alex used a pile of loose gravel to create a blinding cloud, scattering the sensors the Dominion relied on. One by one, they became disoriented, slowing their advance. "See," Alex whispered, "we don't need to beat them in strength, we just outsmart them." Glow brightened with excitement. "Yes, human courage and cleverness, you are remarkable." They moved further down the tunnel, laying more traps, more diversions. The Dominion forces, though faster and stronger, could not predict the unpredictable, the thinking, improvising mind of a human. Hours seemed to pass in minutes. Sweat dripped from Alex's forehead. Every noise, every shadow was a potential threat. Yet with each successful diversion, each avoided attack, he felt something awakening inside him, a primal recognition that humans could survive anything if they chose to adapt. At a sharp bend in the tunnel, Alex paused. The Dominion forces were regrouping, growing frustrated by their prey's evasions. Alex pressed his palm against the wall, catching his breath. "We've done it so far," he said, voice low but steady. "But they'll come smarter next. We need a final advantage." Studied him carefully. "You think like a human," she said softly. "That is why I trust you. That is why you are extraordinary." He smiled faintly, a mix of exhaustion and determination. "I don't know about extraordinary, I just refuse to give up, and I refuse to let them take you." A sudden noise echoed down the tunnel, metal scraping against metal, faster than before. The Dominion had adapted, closing in. Alex grabbed his hand, squeezing it tightly. "Stay close. Whatever happens, we face it together." Her glow flared brighter in response. "Together," she whispered. And then, as the first Dominion figure rounded the corner, they were ready. Alex had turned the tunnel itself into a weapon. Pipes, rubble, dust, and alien energy combined into a perfect trap. The Dominion fell into chaos, slowed and confused. Alex moved with precision, guiding through the shadows, their combined ingenuity creating a symphony of human resourcefulness and alien power. For the first time, Alex realized the truth of what humans could be. Not the strongest, not the fastest, but clever, adaptive, unyielding. And in that moment, he was no longer just a man hiding in a tunnel. He was the shield of life itself. As the Dominion forces stumbled, frustrated and trapped by human cunning, Alex allowed himself a breath. They had survived, for now. But deep in the shadows, he knew the battle was far from over. And he would be ready. The tunnel was quiet now, the echoes of the Dominion's retreat still lingering like a cold shadow. Alex sank to the floor, his chest heaving, his hands trembling from adrenaline and exhaustion. Sat beside him, her glowing form dimmer, her energy drained from the strain of the battle. "We made it," Alex whispered, almost in disbelief. The words felt fragile, but they carried weight. They had survived. Somehow, humans and aliens, two beings from entirely different worlds, had overcome something unimaginable. Turned her glowing eyes toward him, a faint smile forming. "Yes, for now, but this is only the beginning. The Dominion, they will return, and next time they may not hesitate." Alex nodded slowly, realizing the truth in her words. Every instinct screamed that this was far from over, and yet he felt something deeper awakening within him, a sense of purpose that went beyond fear. Humans had always faced impossible odds, and somehow, some way they survived. He understood now that was more than luck. It was courage, determination, and a refusal to surrender. "I'll keep you safe," he said softly. "No matter what, I'll find a way." His glow pulsed slightly, warmth radiating from her alien body. "I trust you, human. That is rare. Few in my world would risk their life for another. You are different." Alex's heart thumped at her words. She wasn't just acknowledging him, she was seeing the value of humanity itself. Humans were fragile, yes, but they were also brave, compassionate, and unpredictable in ways no machine or alien calculation could predict. That unpredictability, that courage, was their greatest strength. "I never thought humans could matter like this," murmured. "I thought we were alone, that our survival depended on ourselves, but you showed me otherwise." Alex swallowed, the weight of her trust pressing heavily on him. She had entrusted her life to him, not just for protection, but for understanding, care, and belief. It was more than he had ever experienced, more than he thought he could handle, and yet he wanted to honor it. He reached out, gently touching her arm, feeling the faint warmth under her metallic glow. "We'll figure it out," he said, his voice steady now. "We'll fight smarter, plan better. You're not alone anymore." His eyes shimmered with something Alex couldn't quite name, gratitude, relief, and perhaps a fragile hope. "Humans, you carry something extraordinary, courage, heart, ingenuity. You remind me why life matters." For a moment, silence fell between them. The tunnel seemed smaller now, less threatening. For the first time that night, Alex allowed himself to relax, to simply exist with her. He realized that their connection was more than survival. It was trust, companionship, and a bridge between worlds. But even in the calm, tension lingered. The Dominion had retreated, but only temporarily. Alex knew they would return, stronger, smarter, more relentless. They had seen human cleverness in action, and that might make them even more dangerous next time. "We need to prepare," Alex said quietly, thinking ahead. "I'll learn everything I can about them, study their patterns. We'll find their weaknesses, and together we'll fight back. We won't just survive, we'll win." Leaned her head slightly against his shoulder. "I believe in you. That is enough. You are human, and that matters more than you know." Alex felt a swell of pride and purpose unlike anything he had ever known. She was right. Humans did matter. Not because they were perfect, not because they were the strongest, but because they had heart, courage, determination, and the ability to rise when the universe itself seemed to oppose them. Hours passed as they rested, planning quietly in the tunnels. Alex sketched out strategies, mapped exits, and identified potential traps. Offered guidance with her alien perception, her knowledge of the Dominion adding clarity to his human intuition. Together, they formed a plan not just to survive, but to fight back. And as dawn's faint light crept into the city above, Alex realized the truth. Humans, fragile and small, could be extraordinary when it mattered most. And with that belief, he would not just protect, he would show the universe what humanity was truly capable of. For the first time, he felt invincible, not because of strength, but because of heart, trust, and the courage to act when it mattered most. Outside, the city stirred, unaware that in the dark, abandoned tunnels below, a human and an alien had forged a bond that could change the fate of worlds. And Alex knew without doubt that nothing, not the Dominion, not fear, not impossibility, could break that bond. The tunnel was quiet, but the stillness was deceptive. Alex knew the Dominion would return, stronger, faster, more relentless. There was no choice but to confront them. This time they would not hide. Alex tightened his grip on the metal rod he had sharpened earlier. It wasn't a weapon by traditional standards, but human ingenuity made it one. Alien energy pulsed softly around him, illuminating the walls with a soothing glow. She moved beside him, radiating strength even as her form shimmered with residual fatigue from the earlier battles. "They will come," she whispered, her violet eyes reflecting determination. "But we are ready." Alex nodded. "We're not just surviving anymore, we're showing them what humans can do." The first wave of Dominion soldiers appeared at the tunnel entrance, their dark forms gliding silently. They paused, sensing something different this time. Their prey was no longer cornered. It was waiting. Alex stepped forward. "Now," he said. Surged with light, her glowing form creating illusions in the tunnel, splitting shadows and confusing sensors. The Dominion hesitated, caught off guard by the unexpected strategy. Alex triggered tripwires, sending pipes and debris tumbling into the enemy ranks. Chaos erupted, their precision and speed countered by unpredictability, something humans wielded like a weapon. "They cannot anticipate this," murmured, her tone a mixture of awe and pride. Alex pressed on, leading her through a series of tunnels they had prepared, each one a gauntlet designed to disorient and delay. The Dominion, though superior in speed and power, struggled to adapt. Every trap, every diversion, every clever maneuver bought them time and hope. At a junction, Alex paused, feeling the weight of responsibility. "We can't just survive," he said quietly. "We need to end this or they'll keep coming, forever." His eyes softened. "Then we do it together." They moved to the final chamber, a collapsed subway station they had reinforced and rigged. Alex guided to the center. "Use your energy," he said. "I'll handle the rest." As the Dominion surged forward, released a pulse of radiant light that spread across the chamber. The enemies froze, momentarily blinded, as Alex triggered a sequence of collapses, metal beams, rubble, and debris falling with precision. The Dominion's formations broke apart, their advance halted by human planning and alien power combined. Alex felt a rush of triumph, not arrogance but pure recognition. Humanity was not weak. They were clever, resilient, and adaptable, and when combined with trust, courage, and heart, they could overcome even the impossible. The Dominion retreated, disoriented, and defeated, for now. Alex stood amidst the wreckage, breathing heavily, their bond strengthened through shared danger. "You were extraordinary," said her violet eyes glowing softly. "Humans underestimated, but capable. You have heart, courage, ingenuity. I see it now." Alex smiled, a tired but genuine smile. "We're all like that," he said quietly. "Small, fragile, underestimated, but strong when it matters. That's what being human means." For the first time's glow softened into a warm, steady light. "Then I am safe with you, and I will survive because you chose to act. That matters." Alex realized something profound. Humans had always been underestimated in the cosmos, not because they lacked strength, but because the universe had never truly seen their courage, their compassion, their ingenuity. Survival was proof. Humanity mattered, and one human, determined, resourceful, and brave, could change the fate of worlds. As dawn broke over the city above, Alex emerged from the tunnels. The streets were calm, the Dominion nowhere in sight, but both knew the battle was part of something larger. A universe full of threats, challenges, and unexpected allies. Alex looked at her glowing form, feeling a sense of pride and connection unlike anything before. "We made it," he said. "Yes," replied softly. "Together, humanity is remarkable, and you are its finest example." Alex laughed quietly, a mixture of relief and wonder. "I never thought being human could be heroic, but with you it feels like it is." extended her hand, and Alex took it without hesitation. In that simple gesture, the bond of trust, courage, and hope was sealed. Two beings from different worlds, united against impossible odds, had proven something the universe could not ignore. Humanity, in its heart and ingenuity, was a force to be reckoned with. And as the sun rose over the city, casting long golden light into the streets, Alex realized that being human meant more than survival. It meant rising when it mattered, protecting life, and choosing courage when the universe demanded it most. The Dominion might return, but this heart-driven human would be ready. And by his side they would face anything, together,